Hi, I'm Norm Ornstein, and I approve this message. I can't think of anything that my good friend Nick Allard would like better than a night focused on, Nick Allard. Nick and I have been friends for a very long time, so I know exactly how smart he is. Heck, I've committed it to memory by now. I also know how smart each of his 3 children is, and each of his 3 grandchildren. And I know how lucky Brooklyn College of Law is to have Nick, because he's told me many, many times. Nick and I go so far back that I can even remember seeing his neck. We've shared a long time fascination with politics. I remember back to when Nick was working for Senator Moynihan, how Moynihan said that Nick was the smartest person he'd ever met. Actually, Moynihan didn't tell me that. I heard it from Nick. You know that Nick was a Rhodes Scholar? So do I. And so does the woman who comes every other week to help my wife Judy clean the house. And so does Sally Verse, who was the principal at our kids' elementary school. And Miss Finney, the kids' first grade teacher. And the guy who picked up the garbage outside his house in Georgetown. And probably the guys who pick up the garbage outside the law school. And oh, so many more. Not just Rhodes Scholars, but real, salt-of-the-earth people who now can boast that they are so fortunate that they know a real, live Rhodes Scholar, Nick Allard. Nick used to coach our older son Matthew's baseball team. For years, they never won a game, but Nick was such a good coach, such a good role model. He'd gather these kids in a huddle after every game and tell them not to worry. Just wait till the other team sees your SAT scores, he'd say. They didn't want to wait. They wanted to win. Besides, they were only in 2nd grade. Nick used to tell his young players that they were all going to go to Princeton. Not on athletic scholarships, mind you. He never misled them, and the facts were the facts. But to Princeton nonetheless. Did you know that Nick went to Princeton? I heard it first from Nick. Anyhow, the kids wrote their college essays on how they finally won the baseball championship in their last year to have a team. And by God, they did all go to Princeton. Nick went to Yale Law School. I know, but so did my wife. Enough said. Speaking of wives, how about that Marla? Have you ever? Makes you wonder, would you be roasting a Dean Nick Allard, a Princeton and Yale Law School graduate and Rhodes Scholar, if there'd been no Marla in his life? Actually, you would probably be roasting another Dean, and Nick would be bussing the tables. But seriously, Nick, you and Marla are simply irresistible, by which I mean too much trouble to ignore. I looked it up just to be sure. But why would I want to ignore you anyway? As they say in the movies, I love you, man.